If I haven't sold the benefits of that enough yet, then I should do a better job, because I really think this is the direction that everybody should be going in. And the upside, I think if everybody did this, we would live in a much different world. It's literally the process of cultivating free will. It is literally the process of being able to control yourself internally so that you can build yourself in any direction that you wish internally, and that affects you externally, and that affects every sect of your life. And so that's a big upside. Okay, good morning. Today I wanted to do a brief guide on awareness, on how I've learned to maintain my awareness in every moment of every day. I'm not going to say that I'm necessarily an expert on this, but I think from here on out it's just a matter of continuing the same thing that I've sort of figured out. It's an interesting thing, because in the process of becoming aware, you begin to learn things about yourself. And I don't just mean about your internal patterns, which I talk about a lot. I don't just mean about your internal patterns or your, you know what I mean, your internal habits, your habitual thoughts, yourself, your unconscious psyche, all of these things. I don't just mean that you learn about these things. You learn more about the sort of mechanism of your consciousness, about the mechanism by which you function, about the things that are the actual source of your ability to think, of your ability to perform, of your ability to learn in every moment. You end up realizing just how much of everything that you do is unconscious and doesn't require you thinking about it so much, and how much your focus should be on presence, and more so managing and sifting through and sort of filtering the thoughts that are allowed to enter your mind, and directing them and focusing them whenever it is necessary to really focus on something, rather than, you know, how much we tend to be, I don't know, to me it just became very clear and sort of surprising and sort of fascinating in that same vein, how much of my thoughts, or how much of my active conscious thinking was not necessary in almost anything that I did, unless it was something that I was actively trying to change. And so you realize, because one of the things that I was worried about when I was first learning to become conscious was that it's kind of hard to do anything and not have any thoughts in your brain. It's kind of hard to engage in life at every moment and be fully conscious and fully present and not have to think about what you're doing for real. But then you realize, and what I realized was kind of fascinating as I began to do this, and you go further down the line and you realize that in the beginning it's difficult because you have no power over your internal at all. So you try to filter your thoughts out of your mind for 2 seconds and you end up falling back unconscious. You can't even stop yourself from engaging in your own bad habits without falling unconscious and being possessed by them. You can't focus on a single thing on purpose unless you get sucked in by it in some way or other, or just pulled in different directions, as most people are. You can't do anything intentionally. And so in the beginning it's difficult, but as you learn and as you build the muscle, you can start to do it. And so here, I'm going to start explaining the way it works, but I wanted to talk about it. What was I saying before? I was saying something before, but I don't remember, so I'm just going to move on. Maintaining your awareness in every day is a fascinating thing, because this is what I was talking about. I was talking about how little you actually end up needing the conscious mind for things that you engage in every day. So I'll give a couple more thoughts on that, and then I'll explain kind of what it's like. But I don't know. It was fascinating to see how little I actually needed to place my awareness on things outside of needing to laser focus on things. And so you gain two things in the process of doing it. You gain the ability to stop thoughts that you don't want to have and to focus your mind on the things that you do want to focus on. And that's a really good skill to have, and that applies in every level of life. And it allows you to filter out the things that you don't want inside you and to cultivate the things that you do want inside you. And so you end up gaining in every single possible way when you engage in this. And that's a big benefit, right? So what? So the way that you focus, the way that you remain present in every single moment of every single day, it's difficult because you have to do it in every single instance, and you want to be trying to have that level of presence in every single instance of every single day at all times, right? And so that's going to take some persistence, and it's probably going to be a few months before you even feel like you're doing it correctly, even in like pockets of the day. But it's been very fascinating because I've been seeing how more and more of my day and more of the activities that I engage in seem to have present mindedness permeating them, if that makes sense. So the way it feels is, so real quick, so I mean, I'm wondering if I even have to explain how you like become present in the moment. I don't imagine that that's something that I would have to do, but I guess if you're extra stupid or something, I'll explain that now. Focus your senses and your awareness entirely on right now. Can you do that right now? Right now, like right now. Ready? No thoughts. No thoughts. Right? No thoughts. If you can do that, you've successfully cleared out all the thoughts from your head. That's what you've done. You've cleared out all your thoughts and you've focused on your senses, on the present moment, because if you're in the present moment, you're going to activate your senses necessarily. I think you can probably do it without that, but that's some super high level shit. And so the fascinating thing, and the thing that made me want to talk about this, is that what happens is if you become fully conscious enough, you notice something tug at you, like internally tug at you in your mind, and your job is to basically do this. It's gonna feel like this. This is what it feels like for me. Genuinely, this is what it feels like for me when I do this. I'm here, I feel like a tug, and I go like this. And you just do that all the time. And the better you get at it, the more, because some of these thoughts, some of these temptations, inner temptations to think, to shift your attention around, are so subtle that you don't begin to even notice that they were there, much less be able to bounce back from them until you've been down the road quite a bit. And that was such an interesting thing, because I never thought that it would be so hard to even perceive the things that were tugging at you internally. And so to now be able to, it's weird, because it gets to the point where it's like I'm just now being able to see some of the things that tug at me and being able to stay in the present moment even then. And so it begins to feel, and you'll find it, I would assume that everybody would feel like this, that it's like you're persisting in your awareness, and you're basically like, you could call it halfway defending, you can call it like you're going to war every day. Some people describe it like much more intensely like that, in a much more intense way. You could call it, how do you say it? Like for me, it feels like waves of things are coming at you, and you're just trying to stay afloat. And everything's going to try to pull you underwater, and your job is simply to stay afloat. And the more that you're able to do that, the more free will you have. And the process is essentially the process of cultivating free will. That's what that is. And so I was going to say something else in regards to that. I don't know what that was. But yeah, that's how it feels. That's what it's like. And you want to be doing that at all times. at all times. And it's a difficult thing to do, and you need to be quite persistent at it, but the benefits are very deep, and it's not something that people are going to recognize instantly. It's something that changes your inner being and your control over your inner being. And what I mean by that is you become the master of yourself. I'm sort of repeating myself, I'm talking in circles, but yeah, that's maintaining your awareness through every day. And if I haven't sold the benefits of that enough yet, then I should do a better job, because I really think this is the direction that everybody should be going in. And the upside, I think if everybody did this, we would live in a much different world. It's literally the process of cultivating free will. It is literally the process of being able to control yourself internally so that you can build yourself in any direction that you wish internally, and that affects you externally, and that affects every sect of your life. And so that's a big upside. If you ask me, that's a big upside. So that's how you do it. That's what it feels like. That's sort of the process of it. Those are the benefits of it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to cover on that. I remember there was something I wanted to recall earlier, but I don't remember what it was. Let me think. I remember. 2 seconds later, I remembered. Nice. So, what I wanted to note, the last thing that I wanted to note, if you made it this far, this is like a bonus thing, just so that you feel, so you don't feel like this is something that is indicative of something wrong with you. This is an extremely exhausting thing to do, and it's something that you have to do all the fucking time. So naturally, if you're trying to stay present all the time and you have such a weak muscle in that area, so the benefit is that it's a mental muscle, meaning mental. I don't know why I was gonna say mental muscle, meaning that you can exercise it all the time, meaning there's no actual limit to how much you can do it. And I don't know, there might be a point where you get so exhausted in one day that you really don't feel like you can do it anymore, I guess. Or like it might be harder and harder as the day goes on, because obviously your muscle gets weaker. But the next day you'll be able to do it more, and the next day you'll be able to do it more. But the benefit is that it's a mental thing. So it's like you can literally just keep going forever. But the downside is, because it's a mental thing and because you can do it forever, it can get very exhausting. It can get exhausting, but it does get easier as time goes on, like with anything, like with lifting weights. But what you're thinking about doing, what we're talking about doing here, is something that takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of persistence and a lot of internal persistence. And it's a lot of internal persistence that permeates everything that you do in every moment of every day. And so that's a lot. It's not like with any other activity at all where you sit down and you do the thing, where you sit down and you engage in the thing for a certain amount of time, and then once you're done with engaging the thing, then you're not engaged with the thing, and then maybe you think about the thing if you want to, and that's it. No, this is something that you should be doing and thinking about, because thinking is sort of the point, or not thinking, or managing your thinking is sort of the point. And so you're gonna have to be doing that literally at all times. It's not something that should ever shut off. In fact, I'm sort of playing with the idea these days that, because there was one night that I was able to do it while I was sleeping. And you know, you have those pockets of sleep where you sort of wake up and you can be like halfway conscious even though you're asleep. And I could tell that I felt this sense of relaxation and presence deeply that I had never felt when I was sleeping ever. Like I was just fully present. Or usually when I fall asleep, I start like losing my presence of mind, and I start getting tugged at by thoughts, and then, you know, and then you end up getting pulled down the stream, and then you fall asleep, and then you're just bouncing around all sorts of places wherever you go. And so that's something that I've been thinking about also. But yeah, maintaining your awareness, that's a little bit of a brief guide, a brief explanation on it. it's it's something. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's the only thing that has. I think this and things of this nature and mastering things of this nature have been the only things that have been truly useful to me in my journey of self-mastery and self-control, so that I can evolve into who I want to be. So I really stand by these things, and I really believe in them. I really do. So yeah.